organizations like TAPS and excuse me, Paranormal State whoring themselves out every time a camera is on somewhere. Not so much TAPS. I have nothing but respect for those guys. Don't get me started on Paranormal State, though. That's a different cat altogether.
Yeah, we don't go down that road much.
I do like chip coffee. I do like chip, but never mind.
He's an alright guy, that's all we can say.
Yeah.
We'll leave it at that.
Taste and scarves.
Yeah, he does. Did you see that one ascot he had on last season? Matched his trousers. Yeah, it was nice.
Oh, wow.
I'm joking. I didn't pay that much attention.
Okay, now tell us about P.P.R.I. What
Parks
does it stand for?
Parks Paranormal Research and Investigation. It's actually something that popped in my head. After years and years of doing this type of thing on my own, I formed 2 teams prior to this that kind of fell apart because I have real control issues and I like things a certain way. I'm very meticulous. I suffer from obsessive compulsive disorders, so having me working with a group, if you looked at my grade card from kindergarten and saw S- and all of that, playing well with others, you would understand why. So the groups that I'd worked with in the past kind of fell apart. The last one was SCOPS, South Central Ohio Paranormal Society, and we were featured in the book Ghosts from Coast to Coast. The author, her name, she goes by Kalyami, and she lives in Nevada. She has written 2 books since then, but that was the one we were featured in. A picture that my wife had taken while spending 5th grade camp weekend. She's a teacher, so she was one of the people in charge of the students. And it was an old restored slave cabin in Sabina, Ohio, that had been moved up from Birmingham. And they restored it and set it right there in that location. And she was just taking random pictures, and an extremely bizarre and anomalous form appears in the picture. So we, at that time when we were SCOPS, ended up in that book. And the time that I formed P.P.R.I. was at another crossroads in my life. We had just had our first child. I was, at that point, in my early 30s, and wanted to stretch my legs out and have more of creative direction and control over the types of cases we looked into, the types of locations we'd hit, and how far we would expand. And since then, my team technically was formed in 2007 as it is now. We've been to New York City, we've been to Las Vegas, and all over Nevada. Michigan time and time again, West Virginia, all over the place, Kentucky, the tri-state area surrounding Ohio in general. We're going to Jamaica and the Cayman Islands this weekend. We're going to be there for an entire 7-day cruise excursion, and hopefully getting a chance to get access to a 375-year-old slave cabin plantation that has been there since the dawn of the British Royal Empire ruling the Caribbean islands.
Does anybody ever bring their suitcase for a little person?
We could cram a few. If you have tiny arms like what I'm thinking, we might be able to work that out.
I think we could put you in the shaving kit.
You know, I like you less and less every week, Brian. Oh, that sounds awesome. But why doesn't anybody ever come to the land of cheese to investigate?
I've been close. We've been to Michigan. I mean, come on. It technically borders, and you're through the pinky side of the oven mitt.
Yes, and heaven is north of the bridge. So.
Right, and you also have the same sightings in Wisconsin with the Dogman anyway, and Dogman kind of crosses over to Michigan every now and then.
He's a wanderer.
Yeah, I just think he's a dirty old hippie that the CIA gave too much LSD to. Astral projection purposes and all,
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that's the second half of this show.
I don't want to ruin his thunder, sorry. Yeah, he looked kind of like